Hello students. Today I'll be talking about the problem of inequalities of income and wealth. When we talk about Indian economy, the major problems include the problem of poverty, unemployment, and inequalities. Inequalities is one of the topics that we have not touched so far. We have talked about the previous two topics, but this topic is remaining that we'll be discussing in today's lecture. At first, we should understand the meaning of inequality. Inequality is basically the unequal distribution of income and wealth among the various institutions. It leads to a lopsided distribution of income, wherein one people are considered to be haves and one people are considered to be have nots. Means people, those who have resources, they are considered to be haves, and those people who are lagging behind, who do not have resources in their hands, and who have resources but they are not sufficient to generate the income level, then they are known as have nots. So this is the concept of inequalities of income and wealth. The major causes that lead to this malady include: first one is unemployment level in the economy. In any economy, that is characterized by unemployment, it reflects those people who are able and willing to work, but they work at prevailing wage rates, but they are not getting jobs. When these people are not getting jobs, they will not be proving themselves to be an asset for the economy, because they will not be able to generate any income in the economic structure. So what will be happening, that these people will be having paucity of resources. What resources are we here talking about? Monetary resources. They will be lagging behind as far as their income levels are concerned. So because their income levels are low, but and the income levels of those people who are employed is likely to be more, then there creates a gap between the people who have money and the people who do not have money. And unemployment is one of the factors that leads to the fact that people who do not have money. So this is the first factor that leads to inequalities of income and wealth in India. The second one being the rate of inflation. It is one of the causes of inequalities. In during inflationary pressures, what we observe is that there are some classes that benefit, and these classes include the profit earners, who gain on account of inflation. These include big business houses. The businessmen, they gain out of, and the big business investors, they also gain on account of inflationary pressures. But there is a class of people who are having fixed incomes, or who are salaried. They are likely to lose during inflation. So on account of these things, one class is at gaining end and the other class is at losing end. Once again, there is a divergence of income, and there is an inclination of income towards those people who gain during inflationary pressures. So again, the wedge between people who have money and people who do not have money is widened, and which again leads to inequalities of income and wealth in India. The next one is tax evasion. In Indian economy, tax evasion, tax dodging, these are the major things which are observed. And the people who are able to actually avoid tax, and who are able to save their black money, and who do not report it in their income tax returns, they are at gaining end. And they are at gaining and in the sense that, because they are in a position to save their money, so this they are able to make their unofficial economy strong. And as compared to the official economy, those means those people who report their income, who file their ITRs in a proper manner. So these rates are also this is also this also results in the concentration of money in the hands of the people who are able to manipulate the figures. So they will be having resources, and the others who will not be able to do so, they will be having lesser resources in the end, and which also leads to the problem of inequalities. The next one being the new agricultural strategy. The green revolution also benefited the rich farmers. It was lopsided, and the poor farmers did not, the tenant farmers did not gain on account of the new agricultural strategy, which also led to a wedge between rich farmers and the poor farmers, which also promoted the level of inequalities in the Indian economy. Now we'll be focusing on the consequences of inequality. First one is class conflict. As I have already told you, two sections of societies emerge on account of inequalities. First is haves, and the second one is have nots. Again, these sections of people, they tend to have a sort of fight between them, because some have money and some have resources and some do not have, some are deprived of it. So this, it leads to social tensions and a sort of disagreement among the masses who do not have funds. The second one being political domination. The rich people promote their own interests, which results in corruption and social injustice. These rich people, they tend to manipulate and dominate the political machinery, and are able to mold the things that would be best suited to promote their own interest. So this is also one of the consequences of inequality. The next one is exploitation. Rich people exploit poor people because they know that they are not in a position to say anything in the present economic structure. So there is a possibility of exploitation of exploitation of poor by the rich people. The next one is creation of monopolies. When we talk about creation of monopolies, once again, because these people have funds with them, they try to monopolize the entire money, and they try to concentrate the economic power in their hands. Once again, it leads to creation of a wedge between rich and poor. The next one is suppression of talent. These people, because they have resources at their end, and those people who are able to get indulged in malpractices, they tend to suppress the talent. And even if the poor person has talent, these rich people, through their resources, they are able to overpower the person who is talented but is poor. Next one is undemocratic. In this case, in this case, in democratic structure, rich and poor should live simultaneously, but because of the fact that rich people have money and poor people are deprived of it or starved of it, there is a sort of undemocratic structure that emerges, wherein rich people do not have anything that is in consent with the poor people, and vice versa. Now, the next thing is, how can we reduce the inequalities of income and asset distribution in Indian economic structure? First one is payment of bonus. It is an annual payment that is made by the entrepreneurs in the industry, and it should be a compulsory payment, so that the people who have rendered their services, they receive something in monetary form, so that their standard of living and their standard of living get enhanced, and they too have monetary resources at their end. The next one is ceiling of land holdings. Ceiling of land holdings is imposed in rural areas. They are what happens in this case is that each household is allowed to keep the land with them up to a particular limit. Any surplus above this land is taken by the government and is redistributed among the landless workers, tenant farmers, and marginal groups. So in this case, the ceiling of land holdings also helps in reduction of inequalities from those farmers who have resources with them, and their lands are distributed to the farmers who are having a paucity of funds. The next one is self-employment projects. It should be undertaken in both rural and urban areas, so that not only the problem of inequalities but the problem of unemployment also gets solved. Next one is transfer payments. Transfer payments are the unilateral payments, means one-sided payments that are made. There are no services that are rendered by the recipient here, and they are given voluntarily, and in the form of pension to the freedom fighters, or pension to the government employees, concession to the senior citizens, pensions to the widow, pension to the disabled. So these are made in order to improve the level of the people who are lagging behind, because they do not have resources at their end. The purpose is to promote their welfare and to uplift their standard of living. With this, I am winding up the topic of inequality. Thank you so much for the patient listening.